Normally pale skin. I think the white helps as well. It's very flattering to me. But
Oh, okay.
it is literally just my face, my arms, and my body's just pale white because it only happens on the walks. The
Uh,
problem with being here is you can't see the laptop in the sun, so you think, oh, I'll go do it outside, and then you're like squinting at your laptop, going, I can't see.
mm.
So, I mean, it's been how long has it been since we stopped now? Like, well, it's been over a year, hasn't it? Or about a year? No, it's not
It's
been over
it,
a year.
it's yeah,
Yeah,
it's coming for a year now. Yeah.
so I've not seen you for a while, but I'm really glad that we finally got to do this. Like we've been talking about it for, and I think the reason I wanted to do this with you is my mum is your number one fan. Well, obviously, I wanted to do multiple reasons, but I remember when I showed my mum was like, I need to know everything that she did. I need to. She's so inspired. Literally, she was like, "Can you send me that picture because that is so inspiring? I need to do like." And I just think this will be really helpful for a lot of people to hear. Like, I mean, you did so well, and just hearing because it's all well and good me, and I like to do these things because it's all well and good me saying do this, do that, but then people think, well, you're a personal trainer, like that's you love doing all these
But
things.
I think that's the key thing because I started on my own and I felt so lost because I mean you can go to ChatGPT and they will tell you something so generic that you don't know if it really works for you.
Yeah, yeah,
You see all these beautiful influencers doing these, sexy meals and all this that it might not work for me. I don't have time for that, or I just can't be bothered. So
exactly.
I think the key thing for me was having you as a guidance first to get that, that foundation of the routine, like what works for me.
Yeah,
Figuring out what I like, that's the other thing. Like, for example, I never ate a broccoli before because I didn't like it. Now it's part of, like probably my lunch almost every day. It's just, giving time for you to understand what will work for you. And if something doesn't work, then change it to something that actually works.
100.
And then I think that that's something that is important because some PTs is like, oh, this is my plan and just, do what
Stick.
it is.
Yeah,
We always work together like, oh, I don't have time for this, or I'm tired, I'm hungry, and we work around all that. And I think that that's important because otherwise, if I was tired and hungry, I would say, you know what, I'm not going to keep with this.
one
Um,
100%. Right, you're giving so much actionable advice. You're giving too much advice for people. Let's start with where were you before we started working together? Just give people a background of what was Xindy's life like before you and I like started her
oh,
program.
well, I will be probably be on the sofa like this, that because I was exhausted. Mainly 3,000 step ish
Yeah,
a day.
a day.
That's
Yeah,
it. Obviously, the just to think about me doing a workout would be like, no, I can't do it.
yeah.
So definitely zero that. As I said, I was lost on what I should be doing. So obviously I was in a calorie deficit, but I didn't really track macros or know about macros or what actually worked for me. So one of the main thing is like I completely removed the fats of my life. And then that was one of the things that the first thing that we did, reintroduce obviously healthy fats because it's important for women and for hormones, which I didn't know is like, again, growing
That's
up,
yeah.
like losing weight, you just need to, starve yourself and just no bread, no pasta, no nothing. Now I eat bread, I eat pasta, I eat rice. It's just about moderation and then obviously knowing, for example, I went all you can eat sushi on Monday
Oh, wow,
and I
love that.
lost weight and I lost weight the next day. But
You're making people very jealous now, Cindy. So like, oh
but it's obviously I knew in advance what I was going to eat. So even that I was going over my calories, I
yeah,
prepared myself not to be hungry when I was like, starving, like I will eat everything and anything.
yeah.
I keep my diary of food still. Even
Still,
if I'm going to go 2,000 calories over my allowance, I still record that.
that
So
is
I
that's
already
what you were.
know.
That's what you were amazing at because that's what a lot of people do. They just think, oh well, I'm going over my food. I'm just gonna eat whatever. But you, no matter what,
Mm,
went over 1,000 calories. You kept yourself accountable, and to me as well because you actually tracked it. So then we can measure it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if you overeat over your calories, it's not the same going over 2,000 than going 5,000 because at the end of the week you will see that.
That's
So
well.
do you want a dessert? Well, what kind of dessert you want? You don't need to go for 2000 calories dessert. You just can get, a nice chocolate or something, which it will take me to something I do. Like if I fancy a chocolate or if I fancy, I don't know, a matcha or, I don't know, something that is not macro friendly or whatever, I would just still have it. I have it and then move on instead of like, oh, I'm going to have an apple or I'm going to have a, no, whatever, it
You
just
eat the
have it and
apple.
then move on.
'Cause that's the thing. You eat the apple and then go and eat the thing anyway. So you eat
Yes.
the
And
apple.
then once you have, because again, if you want chocolate, you just have a square of that chocolate. That works for me. I would
Mhm.
just have that with a bunch of strawberries. So that fills me up.
Yeah,
I stop my cravings and then move on. And I didn't even do any damage.
I love it. And so, what was the total? So where you were before we started? Because you started on your own and you did lose a little bit. So I think we started when you were at like what 92, 93 kilos. I think it was,
Yeah, around that.
and we
I
got
was,
down. Go on.
yeah, so I was 120 kilograms. So
Yeah,
morbidly obese. I was struggling just to get up the stairs. Like, I couldn't just go to my bedroom and say I'm fine. I was like out of breath.
breath. Yeah.
Just one day I just woke up and I said, I can't keep going like this and just started. And it's been a lot of, trial and error. And then I lost half of my initial body weight. So we got to 60.
60 kilos. Yeah, so you got down from 120. So when we started, you'd already done well and got down to like 92 kilo mark. And then we got down to 60, didn't we? So we lost 32 in, it was about 10 months, wasn't it? 10 months that we did it?
Yeah.
10 months. And then we did like an extra 2 months just so that you could maintain it, eat more food. And I just remember like those last 2 months, you'd be like, I can't wait to eat more. I can't wait. I can't wait to get to
Yeah,
that.
and that was a point like that I thought that it was important to have someone to support you because the thing that you said, if you're hungry, eat. Like it makes no sense because then that will trigger you to overeat
Yeah.
because you're hungry and then you're, let's say, desperate for food. But if you don't feel like you're, depriving yourself of anything, then just that's it. Like I still have pizza, I still have Chinese, I still have like what I want instead of having it every day or every week. It's
Yeah.
just moderation on how and when. And then obviously I just look at what I want to eat and then just work around the calories. Sometimes I don't go over my calories. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do care about what I'm eating. So, for example, now we eat quite often on KFC just because I like the bowl because it has rice, salad, and chicken, and it doesn't blow my calories. And then I have something like like tastier that just is takeaway. But then it doesn't mean that it's a day that was going to put me back or anything. It's just
Yeah.
within my calories.
You're still able to live your life and still do it. So what was the moment that you said there you got up the stairs and you were out of breath. What was that moment that you just decided I need to change? Why what was the reason?
Well, I have two children. I was 4 or 5 months postpartum, and I just needed to get her nappies upstairs, and I couldn't do it. And I couldn't sit on the floor. Well, I could, but I couldn't get up on my own. So I would have to ask my husband to help me,
Yeah.
which is quite embarrassing, not being able just to get up on yourself. And yeah, being so out of, breath, exhausted. I was tired all the time. Um, and I think one of the things is like people say, "Oh, I'm not ready. I need to wait for the perfect time." There's no perfect time to start because your children will be still there. Your work will still there. Your busy life will still there. You're washing up, everything, the house is going to be there. So you just need to be aware of that. I will go to bed like quite late, watching something on my phone, like scrolling. And then obviously in the morning, I will wake up like so tired, like, oh, I can't be bothered. I just want to go back to bed. And now I'll go back to sleep on a decent time, get my nice sleep. Yeah, it does help, like everything together.
Because
At the
also,
beginning, is yes.
also you know when we were training together, you turned 40 while we were training together, didn't you? So that was like the you really wanted to make sure that you were fit for your kids and making sure that you were able to be energized. Your little girl used to watch you do the it was like mummy workout, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, they do the same now. So, little one is over 2 years old. She helps me to put the mat on. and she says, "Mommy, exercise." Um, there's a few dumbbells that I bought for them because they wanted to use mine, so mine might be too heavy for them.
Yeah.
So they have ankle weights for their own. They have, resistance bands for their own. They have their own, Pilates ball because I do a bit of Pilates. So they have like their own equipment for them to play with.
And that was like a
And
big motivation for you, wasn't it? Like just being an example for them, like this is how like
yeah, I
mummy does.
have two girls, and I just want them just, first of all, not to feel like I felt like growing up, like, can't eat pizza because that's bad, or if I eat pizza, I will get fat. Like, I don't want them to think about that. I just want them to, food is just to, just to eat. Yeah, just fuel, nutritious food. Yes, you can have a pizza. Yes, you can have a donut. Yes, you can have your coffee. Yes, you can, like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's always about, again, moderation. Like, if you're going to obviously to be having 5,000 calories every day, then obviously that doesn't work if you're just sitting down.
Yeah.
But probably if you are very busy and you're, on the gym all the time or something, it depends on the circumstances. And probably you will say, oh, but that's easy. It's not. The
No,
beginning, like, it's not the same as moving 120 kilos than
no,
moving 60. So definitely the beginning was really, really difficult. It was like, oh, I'm not enjoying this. Now it's completely different. Like I do the workout as soon as I wake up because it gives me energy to start my day.
So
And then
going back to that start bit then, was that the hardest part, just doing the workouts? Was that the main thing? Because we did it all at home, didn't we? We did
yeah,
three.
I have never I have never gone to a gym still.
Oh, that's amazing.
Everything at home. Uh,
With your set of dumbbells, I love it. Set of dumbbells
yeah,
in.
it's everything. It's everything in there. In my office, it's just, my space is here,
Mhm.
and it removes the excuse because if I need to go to a gym, it's like, oh, but I need to drive. Oh, but I don't have who would be looking after the kids, or maybe I'm just too tired to drive, or it's just like it's too busy and I don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's one of the things. I try to remove all the excuses. So, for example, I prepare my meals in advance. So whatever I'm eating today has been prepped the day before. So if I'm busy working, if I'm busy, it's the weekend and we're out and about. My husband makes fun of me because I bring my food with me most of the time.
Love it.
Just because sometimes it's just like, oh, I don't fancy it. We went to the zoo a couple of weeks back and I get packed lunch for everyone, but
Nice.
they got like sausage roll and that kind of stuff. And I brought broccoli and, mince and sweet
But this is
potatoes,
like,
which is like my preferred lunch is that.
yeah, but
And
this
he
is
was
like
just
people make fun of this, but this is why is that not normal? You know, that's why is it normal to go and eat crap food, but you prepare a healthy lunch and that keeps you on track, that's tasty and that you enjoy, and it means that you can now enjoy the time with your kids, time with your family, but still stay on track.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not really worth it because sometimes I say this, it's like, oh, I ate something, I didn't really enjoy it, and I just
Yeah,
wasted my calories.
100.
So sometimes it's like they might put too much oil on it, and it's just like not nice, or because I'm not used to it, or it might be feeling like a bit too heavy because of the if something is fried, or it's just it removes the inconvenience of
Yeah.
like having something that you might not like. And if you go in, for example, to the zoo that you're looking at going the entire day, I say maybe I will have an ice cream. So I work out my calories. If I bring my own food, that it gives me a bit, like a flexibility of like maybe I want a latte or a cappuccino full of milk and cream and whatever, and I can have that because I work out around that I was going to have a treat later that day.
And that way you're still able to enjoy it. So you're now at this point where you know all these things, okay, and you do all these things and you prepare. But that was a far cry from where you were at the very start. So when we first started, I know you said about the workouts being 120 kilos, like doing the workouts because we did it 20 minutes. That was all it was, wasn't it? 20 minutes just to start. Like we just started building it up and getting stronger. One of your big motivations was I need to be able to pick up the baby and I need to be able to bend down. I need to be able to do all these things. The workouts are obviously quite hard. What was there a moment where you thought when it was hard that you wanted to quit, or was there a moment where you like, no, I've just got to get through this?
Well, I never saw a choice of quitting because then it won't take me where I want to be. I
Yeah,
just need to keep pushing. Um, so there wasn't really the opportunity to say, well, I will just leave it. I don't want to go back where I was.
yeah,
I want to feel better. I want to be better. And now that you're obviously remembering that, one of the things that my two kids love, so one is 5 and the other one is 2, they
Yeah.
want me to hold them both at the same time to go downstairs for breakfast. So I get one in the front and one in the back. I was not able to do that before. I would just say, I can't do it. Now I just do it. And funny enough, sometimes my husband says that he struggles to do that.
And that's because of the strength training. That's because of the strength
Oh
training.
yeah, well, obviously, and then I think it's just like I haven't thought like, oh, I'm going to stop this. It's just, I feel great. Um,
Yeah.
when I deviate from eating well, I also don't feel well. Like I feel bloated,
Yeah.
like struggle with digestion. So it's like the body will ask you to like, for example, like, give me more nutrients, give me more nice food. Yes, sometimes we want pizza, but most of the time we just want, like nice stuff. I can't say
You
no
know
to
what it
pizza,
feels,
so whenever there's pizza around, definitely I will have it.
yeah, but you know what it feels like to feel good. So if someone like you lost so much weight, 32 kilos, like that is, so there's going to be people watching this thinking that I want to do that. And the approach that they may have taken hasn't worked for them and they don't know which approach to take. Just run through what our day to day looked like when we were in the middle of it and, in the boring months where we would like check in every week and be like, all right, we've lost another 2 pounds. What were we doing? What did your routine look like?
Well, first of all, wake up, um, do the workout,
So
uh,
how many times a week do we train? Three?
3 times a week.
Yeah.
Then I started to add a bit of Pilates on that and stretching.
So you did
But
we did strength training. It wasn't like it was like crazy running or anything like that, was it? It was
no,
just you
no,
did.
no, 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 nothing like that. It was definitely just weights. Very standard, very boring, very basic. Nothing of nice, random
Yeah,
praise things we just see on Instagram. I think that's important. You need to focus on the basics first,
yeah,
and then you can decide, oh, I prefer to do whatever it is, and then that's fine. But you do need to have that foundation. If you don't have your routine set up, if you don't have your habits in place,
yeah,
then everything will fail because there will be always be Christmas, there will be always be Easter, there will be always be something. There will be a birthday, there will be back-to-back events. If you
yeah.
don't know how to approach them, then that's how you just start, and then you don't know how to go back. It could go like this, but then you say, okay, now it's time to,
Exactly. And we had
go
that
back to the.
sometimes. It's not a linear process. It's not always like this. We had times when it was like this, didn't we? It was you knowing, right, Stan's keeping me accountable. You also had that, like, I would say, don't worry, we just do this, this, and this. We focus on the habits like you're talking about there, and it will all get back in
Well,
place.
and I think it really helps sometimes just to know that what I was doing was right. Like I will ask you and I will say, hey, it's my husband's birthday. It will be cake. It will be takeaway. What do I do? I already knew what I was going to do, but then the reassurance, I say, okay, front load the protein, your steps and, all these kind of things is really important. So for example, if someone starting today, I will say invest on a personal trainer. That's like the first thing that you need because yes, there's a lot of things on the internet. Yes, there's ChatGPT, but that doesn't mean that it's tailored to you.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is not a person. And one of the things is that you can tell them, oh, I overate. Oh, but don't worry, everything's it won't take any accountability. Like it will tell you like, yeah, whatever. No, don't worry, move on. But
Yep.
it doesn't, treat it on the line of like what happened or it wasn't intentional or it wasn't like how you move forward. Like,
Or
there's
problem
no
solving.
nothing.
Yeah, like we would like if the weight went up, I would go through what time did you eat? What was your water intake like? Did you have a stressful day? Did you eat late? Did you have more carbs? And then we'd be able to rationalize it and go, okay, we're okay, and move on from there, wouldn't we? And that was a big thing. You did strength training, like Pilates, and like this is what I want people to understand. Like your routine wasn't exciting, and I think a lot of people talk about week one, but when you're 6 months in and you're in the habits and it's a bit boring, how do you stay on track? And that's where ChatGPT won't help you.
Well, and the thing is like it doesn't need to be exciting. Like I mean, you brush your teeth. That's boring. You know,
Exactly.
you get dressed, that's boring. You have to make breakfast for your family, that's boring. Like, it doesn't need to be exciting. And that's probably what social media has everyone, like, like you need to look cute or you need to, like, get these expensive things. No, it needs to be as easy for you to keep it sustainable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will say, you know what, I can't do this.
One hundred.
So boring, it not necessarily is bad. It's actually sometimes is good because that's what you actually need.
100%. But so we did workouts. We started adding Pilates in, and then what was the most? What was the two most important things that I used to drill into you all the time? And I used to say to you, "This is what we need to do every single day."
Well, first is sleep. Second, protein.
Yeah.
And then
How much protein were you
always,
like? Because I think a lot of and guys watching this as well always say to me, "I can't get my protein and I do this." You would eat and you didn't starve either. We did what 180 grams of protein a day some days, and then
yeah.
and we only moved the calories down like only about like 4 or 5 months in. We were having like 2,000 calories a day, weren't we, at the start?
Yeah, and that's obviously what probably we mentioned before. Like, I was never hungry, so it's not that I'm say, oh, it's 4 p.m. and I'm just looking at the cupboard. It's like, what do I want? Like, no, because I was always eating. And probably that's important to like people being smart about what they eat. Again, it doesn't need to be fancy. For me, what it works, I eat kind of the same thing every day, every week.
It's
My
like
food shop.
you're reciting my Instagram right now. It's like you've been my client for so long.
Well, but it works because then my food shop, I do my food shop online, and then it's kind of the same all the time. It removes the pressure of like seeing all these nice, like homemade dessert, look like dessert, and it's protein. It's like, you know what, I can't. I just get wanna get pro thing if I want something, protein stuff. It's about keeping it simple. Like, the more you complicate things, then it backfire to you. So
Yeah,
if you, for example, are a person that like to have variety, probably just, meal prep, free stuff, and then you just have a bit of, more flexibility. But if
yeah.
you're like me, that you don't mind having the same breakfast every day, then that's pretty
Me
much
too.
easy because then you don't have to think, you don't even need to worry about what to eat because you already know, oh yeah, I will have yogurt, oats, and, like fruit, and that's my
It,
breakfast.
it, it takes the brain power away, doesn't it? You've already got a million things to think about. So you want to just think, right, I know that this is so many calories because this is the thing. Eventually, you knew without even tracking that's 400 calories, that's 500 calories because you
Yeah.
did it. Like, we would be doing protein, you'd eat loads, you'd eat 2,000 calories. Then towards the end, we got down to 1,800, and that's what got the last bits down. And then the other thing you did incredibly well, and I think on a handful of times you didn't, you did so many steps. You would do, and you
But
work a
but
job as
but yeah, but the steps came with not perfection again. It was consistency. Like, for
yeah.
example, I live near a Sainsbury. Before, I would just get in the car and drive there. Now sometimes I was just like, oh, do you need something for Sainsbury? And just walk, and then you just it's a habit. But again, you need to build into that. So people think like, oh, I'm starting to lose weight, and then they set really unrealistic goals for themselves, and then that's where when they fail. So first, you don't need 16 weeks program to make you look good, because again, if you're, let's say, on a healthy weight, then yes, you're going to be significant, more tone or defined. But if you are a bit, on the other side of overweight, you obviously will lose weight, but you're not going to see what you're seeing on the Instagram person that is telling you that in 12 weeks you're going to be shredded.
Yeah.
So I think a bit of, reality check is important. And second, you need to give it time. People say, oh, I want to lose 2 pounds a week, every week. Like, you need to give time for your body to adjust. Sometimes you will gain, sometimes you will maintain, but you're in the on the process. If you're doing everything right, it will just come off. Don't look at just the numbers. Just look that when you started, you were doing only 1 kg dumbbells. Now you're doing 8.
I
So
love
that, like, and then it's a work in progress. So it's not that, oh, I lost now the weight, I'll go back to eating like I was before, and not, no. It needs to be a process of like, now I want to refine. Probably I want to, grow more
That's
muscle.
yeah. That's why I say to everyone, it's an evolving process, and that you get there, and then you then decide, right, what can I do now to improve? Like aside from the weight, like 32 kilos, and you've literally increased the length of your life, you've improved your health. What's it what's it like now? Like, what's the biggest thing that it's given you aside from the weight? What's life now compared to what it was, 2, 3 years ago? How is it different for you?
Well, probably just playing with my children, like going to the park and not feeling, out of place because I can't keep up with them. Not trying to cover up my body over the summer, so not wearing inappropriate clothes over the summer because now I just, yeah, I have a bit of a loose skin on my arms, but I don't really care. I just feel great about myself because I'm able to take care of myself and take care of my children. So pretty much that's the win.
I mean, that's the biggest thing aside from the weight. Like, listen, the weight's great and people focus on the scales, but you've given yourself freedom. Not being able to get up off the floor is not a way to live your life. Like, now, yes, you have to make sacrifices with some food. You can't just eat everything that you want to within reason, but you've now gained freedom and enjoyment of your life with your kids and with your how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, but people who eat everything they want, like if you eat like for example McDonald's in the morning and then you have a meal during the afternoon and then you have takeaway in the evening, that person is not happy because they're not feeling well. That like
100%.
even your body just craves all, these kind of unhealthy or just, fatty foods because that's what you're fueling them with. But if you're eating healthy food, then that's what your body. It's just crazy how it's so easy to maintain, obviously, a balance because your body will just say, "Oh, actually, I would just want broccoli and mince and or I just want some scrambled eggs." And you start looking at things like, for example, Five Guys now does a boneless burger.
Not, yeah,
So
yeah, but
it's under 300 calories, so you can have two burgers if you are very, very hungry, and not perfect for protein, low carbs, and then you just enjoying a meal out without any issues.
and you can still live your life. If you had to describe our time together, the 12 months that we did, how would you sum it up? What would you say?
Well, I think the most important thing it was created habits that I never had. I was never consistent in the past. Like growing up, I always, overweight, on the chubby side of things. Whenever I was on the same way that I'm now, I look, fuller because I never exercised with weights. So obviously there was no muscle in there. And yeah, I think that's the key thing. If you have the habits, I mean, you wouldn't think about anything but brushing your teeth. It's not like, oh, I have to brush my teeth. Or I don't want to brush it. So you don't think about that, about working out or food. If you tell me this 3 years ago, where I would make 3 or 4 different meals for everyone, I would say, oh, I can't be bothered. Now it's normal. I don't care. I would just eat my own food, even if everyone else is having something different. And I don't
Just
care. I just
because
my
you have the
food it will be done.
just because you have the energy. So if you had to
Yeah,
speak, you have to speak to someone that was on the fence about maybe coaching or in the same position that you were a couple of years ago. What would you say to them?
it worth every penny. You need to do it. Just focus on doing that initial period is so important because you need that guidance. I didn't know all the things that obviously helped me to get where I am now. So if I continue to be on my own, like I was, probably I would have not continued. At some point, I would have said, this is not worth it. I mean, having someone who understands you and adapts, like saying, this is boring, I don't like it, or I'm not enjoying the workout. Okay, let's switch it out. Or if I'm going to switch it in 1 week, just wait for another week. We had
Yeah,
that. Or I'm hungry, and it's like, yeah, but look at your calories. You're just not doing it right. You're just probably eating um more calories than you should, and it's not filling enough. Like
and
it
you're
can
not aware.
happen.
Yeah, like you're not
Yeah,
aware of like fat sneaking in, and this is all about everything you're saying now is about just building that awareness so that, like you now, you are fully functioning on your own, and you are giving advice that I mean, it's like you sound like me, like you're literally giving advice that I give. Like you sound
but
like
and probably the key thing, and no one is going to save you. Like no, like, even having a PT doesn't mean that the PT is going to tell you, oh, you can't eat that. The PT obviously is a grown-up adult. It will tell you this is what you need to be doing, and if you don't do it, it's on you. So like the responsibility of your success is on you. You need to use all your tools and resources. So if you have someone like Stan, like I mean, I will text you like in the most random hours because obviously with children I will be awake or I will be busy, and then having that access and saying, do this, don't worry, or
Yeah.
that's fine, or let's try this, let's swap around, let's move the calories up for a week or two and then go back. Like having someone to guide you at the beginning is really, really important. And
Such an important, Xindy, that's such an important point that you just said there. Is the because I do this with clients and people feel like they are taking a backward step sometimes. Like you just said there, right? Let's increase the calories by for 2 weeks or a week and just give you a little break. People feel like, no, no, I'm not going to make any progress. But that little break and just knowing, right, okay, there's a bigger plan to this. I need to give myself a little mental break and give my body a little break from just thinking about lose, lose, lose. Because so many times that you and I increased the calories for like a week, didn't we? Where we just went, right, you've been doing 4 months, great. We're going to increase it for a week. And then you end up losing more because you gave yourself that mental adjustment and also you gave your body some nourishment. So you're able to go for a walk, train a little bit harder, spend sleep a little bit better. All those things make such a big difference.
yeah, and again, it's like at the beginning you don't know a lot of things. As I said, there's a lot of information out there, but you
Yeah.
don't know what works for you, and
Mhm.
then you don't have the expertise to trial and error yourself. So you actually need someone to help you. So sometimes people say, "Oh, but that's too expensive," or it's like, "Oh, I can't," or "I don't have the time." And it's like, but yeah, well, what happens if you get ill in the future just because you didn't really take care of yourself? Like, being overweight has so many,
Yeah.
impact on your health. And not it's just, static of like looking nice or just having abs or whatever. It's about, types of cancer, diabetes, and all these kind of illnesses that you can come back from. So once you have them, you have them. So
Like I said
it's
before,
important to think on that and to say, well, maybe I can just, make a sacrifice and get 3 months in with a PT, see what I can get from, from there, and then continue on my own. But it is important to have the guidance because if you don't, what it will happen is at some point you just deviate. It's like, I can't keep doing this.
like
There were very periods on when I said this is hard, like I can't get, I remember those, the push-ups. I said, like, I can't keep doing it. It's horrible. And you said, okay, well, then try every day, just do one, then two, then three, then four. And then that's how you start building up. But I would have never thought about that on my own. It's
think
just, having someone who has the experience to help you. I mean, if you're ill, you go to the doctor. If your car has an issue, you just go to the mechanic. Like you need to get the right help on the right things. Yes, you can go to ChatGPT and help you to get the card done, but maybe you just don't know how to, you don't have the tools. It's the same thing with nutrition, it's the same thing with workouts. Um, as I said, at the beginning, it's really important to have that guidance because once you build the habits in, then it's part of your life. It's like, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm not thinking about I have to do it or I don't want to do it. You just do it.
you are absolute testament to that. And this is why I wanted to speak to you because we've not done this for a year now and you still look great. You're still doing everything that we put in place because the level of effort that you need to get there, what you had to put in, isn't the same level of effort that you need to maintain. Like maintaining it is so much easier. You don't need to just think I need to lose weight for the rest of my life. But like I said before, what you did, what you have done, and why you're so inspirational. Like you lost so much. I think 32 kilos is how many pounds, right? Do you know how many pounds? Let me calculate that quick. 32, 32 times 2.2 is 70 pounds. Okay, 70 pounds. Now you lost even more than that altogether. You've literally extended your life. You've not only improved the life of yourself, your family. You've now like a role model for your kids as well. They're doing workouts with you. So this is the benefit that people don't see of losing weight, getting healthy. You've
Well,
like
the thing is, like, you don't think about, well, I don't think about weight anymore as it is. Like,
yeah,
I just see it as data. I don't like,
I love that.
like, I'm
You
not
literally
attached to
sound
it.
like
Like,
me. You literally sound like me.
but it's not I'm attached like, oh, well, yeah, I got to my lowest and then I gained weight, but I do want to go back, but I'm only on a 300 calorie deficit because I don't want that. I don't care if it takes me another year to get back where I was
Exactly.
because it's only a few pounds and I don't want to be hungry. and it's working out well for me. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel and, trying like, oh, I need to be an X
Exactly.
amount of kilograms by X amount of time, because that doesn't help.
My last,
It
my
needs
last
it
question.
needs to
My
be,
last,
yeah,
go
sorry.
on. Sorry. Thanks. Go on.
It doesn't need to be, I'm on a diet. It needs to be a lifestyle. Like, for example, I don't think like, well, I can't eat this or that. I just like, I met someone recently, a lady, and she was like, oh, but tracking your food is so much effort. And I was like, well, I don't really think about that anymore because I tend to eat kind of the same thing. So it's just, copy paste, copy paste. But
Exactly.
it's part of what I do. Like at the beginning, yes, it was annoying, but since I tend to eat kind of the same thing, it's already there. I just click a button and you just pop it up again. But you don't think about that. I don't think about that as a chore, like, oh, I have to. It's just
It's
part
a
of what I do.
necessary evil, isn't it? Though it's a necessary evil. You track your food to get to a point where you don't need to track your food as like all the time now. Like you have such a better knowledge of what's got protein in, that's got 50 gram protein, but people want to get all the knowledge without doing all the work. And my last question for you on this, because you've already given me so much time and I really appreciate it. You said before, like not covering up in somewhere. Like people, it's hard to get in shape, right? But it's also hard to be out of shape because that mental drain of thinking, oh, I want to cover up my arms. I want to do this. I can't wear that. How much nicer is it now that you've just got that freedom where you can put something on that you want to wear, you feel great in and out of clothes.
I can buy clothes and they always fit.
I love it.
Before it was a gamble. It might not fit. It might fit. But I don't even think about that anymore. Like it's just, as I said, it's just to focus on how well you feel. For example, yesterday my husband was having takeaway, and he asked me, "Oh, do you want something?" And I said, "You know what? I'm not hungry. I
And you've
don't
got that
want anything."
got more control over
But
what yeah,
is your own body telling you like? And if I was hungry, or maybe I just fancy like a bit of cheese pizza or a bit of whatever he was eating, I would still have it. As a family we eat together and stuff. But it's now I don't have to. It's a weird thing. Like I don't know how to explain it. But if
no
I
you
want to, I
it
would
makes
I would.
you've
But
got
if I don't
control.
want to, I'm able to say I don't want to.
So many people don't have control over what goes in the mouth, and that's the thing. They're addicted to food, and you've literally done the best thing. You've regained control of your health, your body, your lifestyle, and you get to choose what you eat and what you don't want to eat, and you know that everything's in moderation, and you can make that choice and still stay on track. And that's what so many people do. That's why people struggle for years. Doing what you did. You lost more in a year than most people lose over the next 5 years who try.
Well, and one of the things I would definitely want to put out there, people will always have an opinion. Don't lose weight, or you look great, or they
Yeah.
would make really weird comments like, or you're making me look bad, which I always find very uncomfortable because I'm doing this for myself. It has nothing to do with you. Or, comments like, well, this one of the horrible ones I had. They said to my husband, be careful because now she's going to cheat because she lost weight.
Oh my
Like,
God.
losing weight had nothing to do about anyone else but my
Exactly.
health.
Yeah.
So people get very weird and or
And
look
it's
at you
because
funny if you.
you're making them feel insecure about what they've not
Yeah,
got.
but you need to don't care about that. Just bring your own food. Track your calories. Get your work out in during your holidays. I went for Isle of Wight break during Easter,
Yeah.
and I brought my dumbbells. I brought my mat, and I didn't do all the steps every day, but I,
Yeah.
I got my works out in. And when I came, yeah, we had takeaway, we had coffee, we had random breakfast, we had everything. And when I came back, was 1 kg less.
I love it. And Cindy, can I just say, you are, because I probably said this to you, but it's been so, you're one of my favorite clients ever, right? Because,
Well, you are my favorite. You changed my life for the best.
well,
Definitely, I will say to anyone and everyone, uh, like joining you was the best decision ever in my life. Like literally, like the best. I never had a PT before, so obviously I can't compare you with other people.
of
But
course,
you were exactly what I needed when I needed it. which is quite rare because sometimes you can say, "Oh, yeah, this is what I need, but it doesn't work out because, maybe there's no flexibility." You were like the most open for communication, zero judgment, 100% support, and available whenever I needed you. So I think that that's pretty important on a PT. And obviously all the flexibility that you build around, oh, I don't like this, or I don't want this. And it's like, fine, then move on and do something else. I think that's also important. You need to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
Um, at the beginning, it might be you never enjoy it because obviously you have never done it, but
yeah,
it will get to a point you will be able to say, oh, well, now I want to try this, or yes, I enjoy this. And you won't think about, oh, I have to do this. I'm lucky that I get to.
exactly. And you just sound just like me, and that means so much because I do really care, and anyone that trusts me with their money and their health, it means a lot. And like you are, and I'm not just saying it, not only just for the like the transformation that you made, because you made a huge transformation. 70 pounds off in the time that we did it was amazing, but just your attitude. Like the one thing you can always ask for is just, even if the weight went up a little bit, you never let it discourage you. You went, we go through it together, and you go, okay, I'm just going to keep going, because whether the weight
But
goes up, weight goes down.
that's also because I had the right support.
I know.
I have never been able to keep up with something. When I was young, I would do tennis, swimming, you name it. I did everything and never stuck to something. This
Well, I'm
is the
really
first time that something has just been part, as I said, it's a habit. So it's part, I don't think I have to. I just get to because I want to.
Well, you should
Um,
know, even that all the people that say all these things, it's only because they're jealous or they're insecure. You are, I think this, honestly, hearing from you is, you're inspirational that you've lost so much, changed your life, been a role model for your kids. But just hearing like your story and what all the advice you've given there is absolutely perfect. It's like it's reading off it's like you've got my Instagram in front of you, honestly. It's honestly absolutely.
but I mean, you speak from experience, and this is like what I've lived. Like, it's my experience. So, um, it must mean something. Like, if you're saying it and I'm saying it, I mean, there's something there. There might be something. So it might be something for people to say, "Hmm, maybe I should try it." Like
Oh, maybe I should
it's out there.
advice, or maybe I should do these things. And like, if this helps one person, keep going when they're a bit stuck, or implement a few things that you've said there, and I know that my mum will watch this and be like, oh my God, I'm going to keep going because Xindy's doing this, and if she can do it. And
I mean, but you have like all your family that are also fit and beautiful, so it's just like very honored that he thinks about me like that. But yeah, it's about making it work how it works for yourself. I mean, some people don't have children, some others they do, some others work part-time, so they're full-time. So you will have to do a lot of trial and error and see what works for you.
that's what we adapt to each other, don't we? That's why it's important to have a coach that
Yeah, and
adapts
it
to you.
doesn't really matter how hard you train if your nutrition is out of whack. So
100%.
you do need to pay attention what you're eating. Yes, sometimes you will say can't have that. It might not be all the time, but sometimes you will have to make that kind of decision to get you to the point that you want to be. So
100%.
it's about being realistic of like where I want to be and what I want to do. Like if I want to eat pizza every day, then probably you will never get there.
No, exactly.
But maybe you just want to try one of those random pizza that is, with cottage cheese and egg instead of, flour and whatever. But you need to try. If you don't try, you won't get where you want to be.
100%. And that is the perfect way to end it. So thank you so much for giving all your advice. Thank you so
No,
much for
thank you for having me.
thank you for trusting me with the whole process. And it just makes my day that, we've not done this in like a year, and I come on and you're still looking all slim and you're looking great. So it is just a testament to how well you've done and adapted to everything. So thanks so much.
Thank you.